I like to think of humans. We get to uniquely be kind of two beings in one. There is this human being that exists, and it has a physical body, and it's rooted on this earth planet, and it has an operating system that it comes with. Like, full stop. It has an operating system programmed into every freaking cell of its existence that has been deliberately created and evolved and just emerged over millennia. And here it is. Then we have this higher self being, the soul, the monad, whatever you want to call it. That spirit just comes into this human being body. Now, what I think I see a lot of in the world that's driven very much by the fear consciousness is that the human being, that part of this whole entity, is in charge. And the higher self, the soul, the spirit is kind of just like along for the ride in this process. And it may do its damnedest job to point and nudge and suggest and sweetly just offer to the human being alternatives, opportunities, synchronicities, messages, new people that it, could nourish it. But the human being is mostly focused like self-preservation, survival, keep alive, hoard acorns, protect myself, protect my own, protect my family, me, this lifetime is all there is. I have to procreate. This is what the human being's focused on. What I think and believe very firmly in my own experience, and I feel like I'm witnessing in the world, is that a lot more human beings are evolving with the help of their higher self being. The human being has needs and wants. They have desires. They want to have sex and they want to eat lots of yummy things and they want money and they want to have power and dominance and, survive and win and have the ladies and, like all of those things. The higher self has, I wouldn't even call it an agenda. The higher self has a purpose or an intention that it's anchored to. So, like, the human being has an agenda. It wants certain things. It wants certain outcomes. It wants to control its reality. And the higher self is a lot more gentle in its being in terms of what it's here for. And so we oftentimes can like easily ignore it or not even know that it's there because it's quiet and it's gentle and it's soft. But if we can work with our human being, our operating system, and not allow it to run the show, not have it be the default over time, we open up to a greater purpose or intention to live from with this higher self that allows so many unique gifts to emerge, allows us to see ourselves and have some perspective on this life and the world that we're living in and the systems, allows us to actually live from a state of love. And then I think we have like this shift happening where our systems, they don't have to necessarily explode or burn to the ground because the people showing up inside of them are different than before. So I can't even remember where I started. This is where I'm ending up. So I'll stop now and let you play off of that because I went on a total riff there. Had a great time doing it. Now, what do you think, Carley? What's coming up for you around that?
We'll keep going with that. Okay. I think that's what is particularly interesting in the human self, higher self, awareness and concept. So there are many theories around why these things exist as they do, many different levels and dimensions of understanding even those theories.
Yep.
And so I'll just, I'll share a little bit. I'll just share kind of more just personally for myself, also kind of how I relate to that and that information. And so we had our time And there will be more time for people, right? If we look at human experience as human experience, the choice to experience being within a certain density of human. So the choice to forget, the choice to live in the tension between realms, to understand fear, what it is, why it matters, when it serves, when it does not, to experience the beauty that is, I'm looking out my wonderful window at the trees and bushes, the beauty that is the natural world, reflected back in a way that my senses can like get excited by, right? Like I can feel and smell and taste. Like human experience is incredible. It is an amazing, it is a gift. When we are disconnected from the higher self or from the perception, the remembering that this is an experience, when we, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally from systems that be, get hijacked by certain narratives and mind programs that really want you to forget that. And to a certain degree that we've created that as well, right? It's kind of like we create our own hell. We create our own heaven. We create our own hell.
Yes.
And we continue to contribute to it. We continue to say, well, there's nothing I can do. Well, I'm going to put my feet up. Well, this is what you got to do in order to get to the top. Well, can't tell you. That's just the way it is. Well, I could go on and on. I've heard it so many times.
Oh yeah.
And I've have found myself at different points in my own journey and in my own consciousness having a similar response, right? When I hear a certain possibility or whatever it is, my perception fights back, my ego fights back, my mind fights back, because it doesn't want to take responsibility for this perception of reality.
Yeah.
So it doesn't want to change. It certainly doesn't want to be uncomfortable. And as getting back to what we were talking about earlier on in the conversation, it's so busy in its movement and its momentum and its paradigm that it's created, that whether it's a prison or a hell is irrelevant. I would rather just keep going and welcome to the gift of the paradigm shift and disruption, right? And this moment in time. So again, the human experience for me, I feel we will all make our different choices. We will continue to do so. I have no idea how exactly these things are going to transpire. There are many different possibilities. So what I do know and feel very deeply connected to within myself is that there has been a time, a rhythm, a time frame of really indulging and understanding the human experience. And that time is, there's a moment now that has been in the now where we are changing. And how we want to experience being human from both a biological perspective and a mental perspective and everything else is going to drastically change. Mm-hmm. And we'll make different choices. There are different paths to take in this change. But I guess, when it comes back to when we talk about the higher self, right? The higher self has been all along like, okay, I'm glad you're having fun. Yep. Are you learning what you need to learn? Good. Oh, you did that. Okay, that's good. Did you don't, hello. You're going a little too far. Wait, wait, pull it back up.
It's like, do you remember the cartoons? Was it Mr. Magoo that was always just like this blind man just like walking off the ledges of buildings? And then
Yes.
at like the last second, there would be something underneath that would catch him. Like, I feel
Yes.
that's the higher
Yes.
self. Like, we're just all blind, Mr. Magoo. We're just like stumbling around, totally unaware. And there's like this higher self coming in, like lifting us up under it with an umbrella, or like a barge comes underneath
Like,
the
hurry up.
bridge and gets you. And that's what I'm picturing right now as you were, you were
Yes.
doing that. And we're all just all
Yeah.
like,